I was sent this post from the Financial Times Instagram. It says Tokyo is planning a 4-day work week to try to reverse Japan's low birth rate. And here is a graph showing Japan's birth rate and how it has changed since 1947 throughout the years. And we can see how it's dropping. Now, many countries are facing these issues with plummeting birth rates. So the Financial Times article is behind a paywall, but this is from the Economic Times and basically is saying the same thing. Japan is planning on giving them 3 days off a week so that they can get busy making some babies. Starting in April 2025, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government will offer its employees a new work schedule, 3 days off each week. This move is part of a broader strategy to address Japan's declining birth rates by improving work-life balance, particularly for working parents. Alongside the 4-day work week, a separate policy will allow parents of elementary school children in grades 1 through 3 to reduce their working hours in exchange for a proportional salary cut. We will review work styles with flexibility, ensuring no one has to give up their career due to life events such as childbirth or childcare, said Tokyo Governor Yoriko Koike in a policy address on Wednesday. Now is the time for Tokyo to take the initiative to protect and enhance the lives, livelihoods, and economy of our people during these challenging times for the nation. Japan's fertility crisis and the need for change. Japan is currently facing a fertility crisis with its birth rate dropping to a record low 1.2 children per woman, far below the replacement rate of 2.1. In 2023, the nation saw only 727,277 births, with Tokyo's birth rate sinking even further to 0.99. This demographic decline has caused significant concern, as it is expected to lead a population reduction from 128 million in 2008 to an estimated 86.7 million in 2060. In response, the government has introduced various policies, including incentivizing childbearing and encouraging men to take paternity leave. However, experts argue that Japan's demanding work culture is a major factor driving down birth rates. Long hours and high workplace pressure often force workers, especially women, to choose between their careers and family life. The issue is compounded by Japan's substantial gender gap and labor force participation. 55% of women participate in the workforce compared to 72% of men, according to World Bank data. The work-life balance struggle. Japan's rigorous work culture, known for long hours and koroshi, death by overwork, has long been a barrier to balancing career and family. Women, in particular, are under pressure to choose between career advancement and motherhood, with many finding the cost of raising children, coupled with their unequal share of domestic duties, too high a price. And they said it, unequal share of domestic duties. So they are putting it out there. And I wonder how they are going to make a policy to create some equality in domestic duties. Anyways, back to the article. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, reports that women in Japan perform 5 times more unpaid domestic work than men, and many women who have fewer children than what they wanted cited the increased burden of housework as a deterrent. A 4-day work week could provide a much-needed solution, offering families more time together and reducing the pressure on working parents, as Koike stated. The goal is to ensure that no one has to give up their career due to childbirth or childcare, with the added benefit of helping improve fertility rates. Global success of shortened work weeks. The idea of a 4-day work week has gained traction globally, with companies in Western nations beginning to experiment with compressed work schedules as a way to enhance employee well-being and attract talent seeking a better work-life balance. A 2022 global study by 4-Day Week Global involved trials in 6 countries, where over 90% of participating employees reported improvements in physical and mental health, reduced stress, and better work-life integration. The trial showed that men also took a greater share of household responsibilities, spending 22% more time on childcare and 23% more on housework. Peter Miskovich, a global future of work expert at JLL, highlighted the benefits of shorter work weeks, saying the upside from all of that has been less stress, less burnout, better rest, better sleep, less cost to the employee, higher levels of focus and concentration during the working hours, and in some cases, greater commitment to the organization as a result. These positive results suggest that Japan's move toward a 4-day work week could alleviate some of the burdens of working parents and potentially boost the country's low fertility rates. Cultural shifts and challenges ahead. While the 4-day work week has proven successful in other parts of the world, its adoption in Japan presents significant cultural challenges. In Japanese corporate culture, long hours are often equated with loyalty to the company, and shifting away from this norm will require a deep cultural transformation. Despite the potential benefits of a shorter work week, it may take time for Japanese companies to fully embrace the idea. Tokyo's initiative comes at a critical time for the nation, which has seen its population steadily decline since 2008. In addition to its fertility policies, Japan is pushing for measures to create a more family friendly society. Earlier this year, Singapore introduced new regulations requiring companies to consider employee requests for flexible working arrangements, including 4-day work weeks. As Tokyo moves forward with its plans, the success of these policies could set a precedent for other cities in Japan and beyond, encouraging broader adoption of family friendly work policies and offering new solutions to global work life balance challenges. Now, once they get the men on board with participating in the household, the child rearing, and the household management, then maybe women will be more on board. But at least they are thinking, they're thinking along the lines of the correct way, considering the whole work-life balance in Japan has been something that has been talked about extensively. Everybody has to work. It's really expensive. How are you supposed to compound that with a child? Because kids are expensive. So at least they are thinking along the lines of things that make sense. Now they are talking about, axing some of your pay based on how much time you take off. So I'm not sure how much that's going to help considering the cost of living there as well. Anyways, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So the Chinese birth rate has plummeted to hell. And so they're coming up with all of these ways to fix it. So this newest idea, pay people to go on dates. So this article is titled, China Firms Offer Cash Incentives to Help Staff Find Love, Boost Happiness and Sense of Belonging. Let's get into this article. A company in southern China has introduced cash incentives to encourage single employees to go on dates, aiming to enhance a sense of belonging and boost overall happiness. The Guangdong General Labor Union recently reported on the measures taken by a Shenzhen-based camera company, Insta360, to foster romantic connections for its employees. The company promised to award workers 66 yuan, or around $9, for each valid post that introduces a single person outside the organization on its online dating profile. So about $9 to connect and go on a date. If an employee successfully matches with an outsider on its platform and maintains a relationship with them for 3 months, the company will reward each partner and the matchmaker with 1,000 yuan, or around $140. A staff member disclosed that nearly 500 posts have been published on the company's forum by November 11th. Meanwhile, the company had distributed cash awards totaling nearly 10,000 yuan to individuals who shared posts about singles. The staff member mentioned that because the campaign began less than 3 months ago, no dating bonuses had been yet awarded. The company stated that the initiative aimed to enhance employees' sense of belonging and overall happiness. It has been well received by staff. One employee joked, "My company is more eager than my mom." On social media, envy was expressed towards the company's employees. One user on Douyin inquired, "Does the company have any recruitment plans?" Another quipped, "The government should follow suit." However, not all reactions were positive. One individual disapproved of such incentives, stating, "Love should not be measured by money." In recent years, China has seen a continued decline in marriage rates. The latest government records indicated that 4.74 million Chinese couples registered marriages in the first 3 quarters of 2024, reflecting a 16.6% decrease from the 5.69 million registered during the same period last year. Additionally, the country's birth rate hit a record low last year, falling from 6.77 births per thousand in 2022 to 6.39 births in 2023. This alarming trend has raised concerns among policymakers. In October, a city in central China's Shanxi province announced a policy to award 1,500 yuan or $210 to newly registered couples who are marrying for the first time, provided the woman is 35 or younger. Many women voiced their frustrations on social media, reporting that their neighborhood committees, China's lowest level of government, have called them to inquire about their family planning intentions. They got the government calling, wondering, when you gonna fill up your uterus? Can you imagine? However, the Shanxi government's policies have garnered more skepticism than support from online observers. One commenter noted, they are objectifying women and discriminating against individuals based on their age. Another added, I don't want to avoid marriage or having children because of lack of 1,500 yuan is due to my concerns about job security and stability. Women are saying the same thing in many of these places, that they get discriminated against because they are women or because they have babies. They have to do stuff with their children or whatnot. So culture will have to change. And many of these patriarchal countries are very slow to change and slow to listen to women's actual issues. But what we have right now, they're paying for dates. This particular company is paying for dates. So we will see how successful that is, because many of these countries, these Asian countries, have very few babies out of wedlock. So if they don't get people married, they won't be having kids. All right, let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Russia and Vladimir Putin, they have been an interesting situation to watch as it tries to fix the low birth rates. They won't stop the war with Ukraine, no, but they have a new idea. Russia's latest move to combat low birth rates, paying students to have kids. Not the war with Ukraine, not stopping that, but paying students to have kids. Almost a dozen regions in Russia are getting set to offer a cash payment to young women who give birth. Russian outlets are reporting, but there's a big catch, a pretty big catch. According to the Moscow Times, monetary childbirth incentives will be offered in at least 11 Russian regions and will go into effect on January 1st, 2025. If a young woman successfully carries a child to term, they will be paid 100,000 rubles, or approximately $1,300. The bonuses, which were first announced in a handful of regions in the summer, come with strict criteria. While it varies by region, all require the mothers to be full-time students at a local college or university. Additionally, they must be under the age of 25 when they give birth. The eligibility is also nullified if the mother fails to carry the child to term, meaning a stillborn baby would disqualify the woman from receiving payment. Last month, Russia's lower house of parliament voted unanimously to ban what authorities cast as a dangerous propaganda for a child-free way of life, hoping to boost a faltering birth rate, reports Reuters. Official data released in September put Russia's birth rate at its lowest in a quarter of a century, while mortality rates are up as Moscow's war in Ukraine rages on and a wartime exodus sees citizens moving abroad. The Kremlin called the figures catastrophic for the future of the nation. President Vladimir Putin has said 3-child families should be the norm in Russia in order to secure the future of the country. The ban on child-free propaganda also includes any content deemed to promote non-traditional lifestyles, such as same-sex relationships or gender fluidity, as well as dissenting accounts of the conflict in Ukraine. Violators can face large fines. We are talking about protecting citizens, primarily the younger generation, from information disseminated in the media space that has a negative impact on the formation of people's personality, said Vyacheslav Volodin, chairman of the lower house, and a senior Putin ally in November after the ban was announced. Everything must be done to ensure that new generations of our citizens grow up centered on traditional family values. In recent months, Russian lawmakers have made sweeping and panicked changes to health policy, as well as offering new cash incentives and an attempt to course correct on low birth rates. Not stopping the war in Ukraine, though. That wouldn't work. Oh, this is a good one. The government has proposed using public funds to pay for newlywed wedding night stays at hotels in the hopes they conceive, as well as encouraging women to use their breaks at work to have sex with the intention to get pregnant. A regional health minister, Yevgeny Shestopalov, said on Russian TV in September that women should engage in procreation on breaks. Per Newsweek, he added, being very busy at work is not a valid reason, but a lame excuse. You can engage in procreation during breaks because life flies by too quickly. And last year, Newsweek additionally reports a member of Russia's lower house suggested that female prisoners be released to procreate with the hopes of increasing the nation's birth rate and their sentences be canceled if they successfully having a child. The country's health authority also announced expansion to fertility testing, with some women in Moscow reporting having received unsolicited referrals to testing clinics. Russia isn't the only country grappling with low birth rates. According to Statistics Canada report released in September, the Canadian fertility rate in 2023 was 1.26 children per woman, which is the lowest recorded level since the agency began collecting data. A StatCan report published in January said Canada, like other countries, is riding the fertility pandemic roller coaster, with more families putting off having children. So what do we see with Russia? Paying students, get busy at work, and banning child-free propaganda. You got that? Will this work? I don't know, but we shall see come next year. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.